Have you ever wondered why your coffee cools down, how engines work, or why ice melts? The answer lies in thermodynamics, a science that helps us understand heat, energy, and how they interact. Today, we will explore the scope of thermodynamics, thermodynamic properties, and equilibrium, where it is used and how it helps us in different fields. But before that, let me state to you our lesson objectives. At the end of this lesson, you students should be able to explain the scope, properties, and equilibrium of thermodynamics in various specific disciplines, appreciate the role of thermodynamics in daily life and its impact on engineering and chemistry. Where is thermodynamics used? Thermodynamics is everywhere. It applies to small things like the movement of tiny molecules and big things like how power plants generate electricity. Scientists study thermodynamics on two levels. First is microscopic scale. This level looks at tiny particles like atoms and molecules. For example, in chemistry, scientists study how heat affects chemical reactions and how molecules behave when energy is added or removed. The second is macroscopic scale. This level focuses on things we can see, like temperature changes, pressure, and energy flow. For example, in engineering, thermodynamics helps design engines, refrigerators, and air conditioning systems. We have here a table of microscopic and macroscopic approaches to describe their certain differences for better understanding. Broadly speaking, we see thermodynamics in two different views or approaches. The microscopic, from the name itself, indicates that we go in the micro level, and the macroscopic being on the general level. So, in a microscopic approach, the behavior of an individual molecule is taken into consideration. So here, we study the behavior of each and every molecule. Whereas, in the macroscopic approach, the average behavior of all the molecules is taken into consideration. Here, we don't go for individual molecules. Microscopic approach is also called statistical thermodynamics because here, we have lots of data and statistics to deal with. And the macroscopic approach in thermodynamics is also called classical thermodynamics, where it relies on observable properties like temperature, pressure, and volume to define system behavior. A microscopic approach is applied whenever the density is low. In the macroscopic approach, we apply whenever the density is high, or when we have a huge number of molecules. The microscopic approach will give us exact and accurate results because here, we are dealing with each and every molecule, so the perfect result is obtained for every molecule. But in the microscopic approach, since we are generalizing the things and taking the average, that is why the results will not be that accurate or exact. Rather, it would be approximate, but more or less it will be close. Moreover, the macroscopic approach is more time-consuming, and the macroscopic approach is less time-consuming. Thermodynamics is useful in many fields. Let's look at three examples from engineering, chemistry, and environmental science. In engineering, car engines work by converting fuel into energy using thermodynamic principles. Refrigerators remove heat from food to keep it fresh. Another example is power plants use heat to generate electricity, providing energy for homes and industries.
Thermodynamic properties describe how energy, heat, and matter behave in a system. These properties help scientists and engineers understand how things function, like engines, refrigerators, and our bodies. Some properties depend on the size of the system, while others remain the same, no matter how much material is present. Let's explore these properties while simple explanations in examples. Types of thermodynamic properties. First is extensive properties. These properties depend on the amount of matter in a system. The more material there is, the greater this property will be. First is the volume. It's the amount of space something takes up. For example, imagine filling a balloon with air. The more air you add, the bigger the balloon gets. Volume depends on how much air is inside. Or when water boils and turns into steam, the gas expands and takes up more space. In energy, a cup of hot tea has less total heat energy than a large pot of boiling water because the pot contains more liquid. Lastly, in mass, a small piece of ice has less mass than a large block of ice. The total amount of matter affects the mass. We also have intensive properties. These properties do not depend on size or amount of matter in a system. They remain the same no matter how big or small the sample. Temperature measures how fast molecules move. The hotter something is, the faster its molecules vibrate. For example, a cup of a hot coffee at 80 degrees Celsius and a big pot of soup at 80 degrees Celsius have same temperature even though the pot contains more liquid. Or when you heat water on a stove, the molecules have faster, making the water boil. Pressure is the force exerted on a surface by particles in motion. For example, the air inside a bicycle tire is under pressure. If we compare a small tire and a large tire with same air pressure, the property remains the same in both. Or as you blow air into the balloon, the air molecules push against the walls, increasing pressure. Density. Density is how much mass is packed into a certain space. Example, oil floats on water because it has lower density. No matter how much oil you use, its density stays the same. Or wooden block floats in water because its density is lower than water density. These thermodynamic properties help us understand the behavior of energy, heat, and materials. They explain everyday phenomena like cooking, refrigeration, and even natural processes like melting ice and boiling water.
Imagine you have a cold drink on a table for a while. Eventually, the drink warms up to match the room temperature. This happens because of thermodynamic equilibrium, a state where everything balances out. Today, let's explore what equilibrium means and how it works in thermodynamics. Equilibrium means balance. In thermodynamics, equilibrium happens when a system stops changing over time. This means no more heat flow, no pressure change, and no further chemical reactions. There are three types of thermodynamic equilibrium. First is thermal equilibrium. No heat is flowing between objects because they are at the same temperature. For example, a cup of hot tea eventually cools down to match the room temperature. Second is the mechanical equilibrium. The pressure in a system stays the same, meaning no force is pushing or pulling. For example, a sealed soda can maintain its internal pressure unless it is opened. Or a book resting on a table, the force of gravity pulling the book down is balanced by normal force or pushing the book up from the table. Or a person standing still, the force of gravity is balanced by the support force from the ground. And lastly is the chemical equilibrium. Chemical reactions stop happening because everything has balanced out. For example, in a closed container, water exists in equilibrium between liquid and solid forms, or in ice at its freezing point. The rate of evaporation or liquid to gas is equal to the rate of condensation or gas to liquid. In carbonated drinks, once the dissolved gas reaches a stable concentration, no more bubbles form.
In conclusion, thermodynamics is the science that explains how heat and energy interact in different systems, influencing fields like engineering, chemistry, and environmental science. It helps design efficient engines, predict climate patterns, and understand chemical reactions, making it essential in scientific advancement in daily life. By recognizing its role in maintaining equilibrium, controlling energy flow, and shaping technological progress, we can appreciate how thermodynamics connects the physical world to innovation, whether in power generation, refrigeration, or biological processes. Its principles guides us towards smarter solutions and sustainable developments that improve the way we live.